Welcome to the latest carp fix session film. You're joining me at my local Syndicate, a historic Essex venue famed for its reed beds, famed for its gravel bars and famed for its drop-tailed mirrors. Go on! Yes! Get in there! Yes!
I think this will be the biggest fully scaled I've ever caught.
That's a beast. It's a take. Now there's fish in this lake to over 50 pounds, a good head of fish, numerous big ones that I'd like to meet, and we're going to pick that up from first light this morning.
What am I looking for? This?
A very early start that until now has gone pretty well. It's pretty rare to see me arrive to a lake on a fishing film and be casting out at first light. Now there's a number of reasons for that. Most of the time when we're filming, we're arriving to venues that I don't know very well. And secondly, it's pretty poor etiquette to turn up and start casting leads in and bombing it up at what could be bite time when other people have been in situ overnight. That said, I was here on Sunday and Monday night. I packed up yesterday, which was Tuesday, and we're back here Wednesday morning. There's no one in the swim to the right of this one. There's no one in the swim to the left. And I know this area always holds carp. I've only done a few sessions here, but there's an area known to the locals, to the regulars, called no man's land out there. Sort of an area where you can't fish. It's sort of, there's a white stick in the middle, and underneath that white stick there's two sunken boats that are sort of anchored out there from the olden days. And then you've got a sort of a reed bed that's sort of broken down out there, and an area that you just can't, like a bit of a triangle, a Bermuda triangle where the fish always hold up. Now, what with the wind piling up this area, the fact that I caught a fish yesterday morning and that I was able to arrive at first light, wrap up to the same spots on two of the rods that I was fishing, particularly the middle rod that produced a fish for me. The middle rod actually went out there one and done, one cast straight on the clip, straight on the right line, straight onto the spot that I wanted. And the right hand rod was an area where I saw a lot of fish jumping on the night, sort of Monday night it was. There was a lot of fish in this corner close in. I had a little lead around before I left, found a relatively clear area where they'd been jumping, and I've pinged the rod out there to start with. But like I say, we're out nice and early. All the bites as well. One thing that's really worth noting, I've done a couple of sessions in recent weeks. The night's been very quiet, and at first light you don't really see anything jumping, but as the morning progresses, sort of once you get around 8, 9, 10 o'clock, that seems to be like the activity time, the best chance of a bite. So like I say, normally you'd set your stall out in the evening for the following morning. Because I was here yesterday, it just seemed silly to wait until this evening to cast out. So we're in situ. We're hoping to nick one almost before the session starts as such. We're going to drink a couple of coffees, watch the morning play out and make a plan from there. As I have already mentioned, I do feel like the best chance of a bite at the moment is in the mornings. Certainly recent activity and captures would suggest as much. I think the plan at the moment is to see out what I would call bite time, which is until about lunchtime, 12, 1 o'clock, that sort of time of day. But as opposed to just getting the rods immediately back out and set for the evening, I'm going to leave the rods reeled in for the rest of the afternoon until the evening. And the reason for that is it's very clear, the water. And if I was to bait up and cast out, there's a good chance the birds will come in, disturb the rigs, steal some of my bait, and I'll be feeling like I'm not fishing as well as I could be. So with regards to spots, this lake has been dug in a very unique way. The lake has, I don't know how many bars in it, but there is an awful lot, and they all run from this bank to the opposite bank on a slight angle, slightly to the right of our position. And these bars are extremely narrow, and so are the gullies between them. I'm going to hazard a guess and say the bars are roughly 3 foot wide, and they're sort of a mixture of gravel and clay. And the gullies between these bars are mostly filled with quite a lot of weed. So although you could fish 2 rods on one bar, you know, get 2 rods within 3 feet of each other, I do feel that obviously that's more difficult. And secondly, there's more chance that when you get a take, that your lines will become entangled because of the weed between you and the spot and stuff. So I think the best course of action is to fish on individual bars, bearing in mind that these bars are only 3 feet apart in the first place. So I've had a good plumb around out there on the previous session. I know where there's a clear area on each 2 individual bars close to the area that they call no man's land. It's not right out there, but it's very close to intercept fish that are in that area. And I do feel with as many fish as there are in this lake, there's no one really knows, but there's probably around 200, give or take, which is a good head of fish. On top of that, there's quite a few tench, and there's also a massive population of rudd in here. Now, I threw some 15mm boilies in recently on a previous trip. They hit the water, they sunk about a foot, and then they left to swim. And they left to swim in a rudd's mouth, which was absolutely jaw-dropping to watch. And with that in mind, I'm planning to go out long with a good amount of bait. I'm going to say 35 to 40 spoms, and I've counted how many 18mm boilies you get in a big spom. It's roughly 30, so that's the best part of around 1,000 boilies, which it's not massive amounts, but it's enough to let them know that you're there. And with the fish in and around the area, I do expect they'll find them, and I do think on a lake with this many fish, a bait and wait tactic is a good ploy. That said, my plans are always open to change, and the wind is due to swing round during our session, and if I suddenly see fish moving down the lake and disappearing, then the plan goes out the window and I make an adjustment. But at the moment, I'm feeling like reeling in at lunchtime, 2 rods long over a good amount of bait, 1 rod short out to the right. And the reason for the short one is the recent activity that I saw a couple of days ago showing out there. And there's also a bit of a pool behind some reeds around here to the right. And this pool has been holding carp recently. I do think at some point during this session, fish will be going back and forward to that area, and bait in this position is likely to be sort of swam over, draw some interest, and hopefully at some point in session, during this session, get some chances. But that's the plan, and we'll see how it goes. So take. Oh. Well, that was a massive result, putting the rods out on arrival, particularly the right-hand rod, which was cast out towards where I'd seen fish on my previous session. This morning, all the fish that I've seen have been jumping out towards no man's land, like long, nearer the middle rod, but the only rod with some bait round it is the short one, and that has produced a take. I need to get the net, that's getting close. Yeah, we like it. Oh, the net's there, I'm panicking, the net's right here. We're all good. We're all good. We're all good. We're all good. And I'm really happy that it's a short rod, because it just makes everything that much easier. That looks like an old mirror. Here we go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, get in there. Yes, yes. Now that is a great start. That is a great start. Mate, crusty dinosaur this lad. Crusty dinosaur.
It's 20, just 27.
Well, that is what you call a result. One of the extremely old relics of this Syndicate lake, and that deformed tail is a bit of a trait of some of the older generation of carp in this lake, and a fantastic start to the session ahead. It came from the short spot out to the right where I led it up on Tuesday morning, and with the wind blowing in and catching one so close in, you know, that bodes really well for the rest of the session. But yeah, super excited and a great start.